Welcome back. I'm Ryan with Inglewood Instruments. Today we are going to be covering another piece in the series of improv techniques, tactics, things you could do to spice up your improv or your desire to just be free-flowing with an instrument. So if you haven't been here before, first off, welcome, and feel free to subscribe because I really hope that you'd like to be around for more of this. And second, feel free to drop comments down below because as I've said before, improv is a very wide subject. It could be that you are just looking to find a way to unlock your musical desires and just kind of get going. Unstick, you have no rules, right? Don't tell me what to do, Dad. Or on the other end of it, you're trying to program as many techniques and tactics and ideas in as you can so that when you do let go, you've got some foundations from which to work. And both are great ideas, directions to go. I'm here to facilitate both if I can, and I'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts below in the comments. Also, forgot last time I was doing this to say over on the website, heyinglewood.com, there are a bunch of things that are free. Cheat sheets for chords. We're not doing as much with chords right now, but you know, there's plenty of those over there, some tabs, and there's also some paid resources that would be great if you could buy so that I could keep eating. I don't really make much money on this, but it helps. All right, one thing that you could buy are Merlin strings, Seagull Merlins. I picked this particular instrument, even though it's not one we make, it is one that we do sell when they're in stock, which they're not right now, because the way that it's set up, for those of you who own Merlins, maybe you've run into this, it's got very low string tension, which means you can bend the strings really easily. Today we're talking about bends, hence why I'm using this instrument. You can bend the strings super easy. And that just makes for the, an even easier time to discuss what we're talking about. So today we're talking about bends. We have covered hammer-ons, pull-offs, trills that come with those. We've done slides. There's another video, I'm not sure if it's out yet or not, for double finger moving, that kind of thing. I'll be having some more soon about like brush stroke chords. How you can take some of these ideas and glue them together. We'll be doing some things about octave playing. And in every one of these videos, what I'm trying to do is give you an idea, a glimpse of what you could do with a tactic. And then I'm gonna just freeform something for you. I actually don't plan these ahead, which is why some of them aren't that great. But if you're looking for a starting point, hopefully I'll give you one of those. Now, bending. This at first would seem like a very straightforward thing to talk about because effectively you're just doing your best to move a string from where it is over to the left or the right, or up and down, depending on how you're viewing the perspective of things, right? So on mine, if I'm holding the middle string, and I'm picking that one for a reason, if I'm holding middle string down here, if I go either down or up, I'm going to bend the string. And you may notice that it sounds the same whether I go here or I go same note. Because what you're effectively doing is taking the length of the string and changing it, and it doesn't matter which direction you change it in, that changes the pitch of the string. You're shortening it, you're making it have more tension on it, it's causing it to do fun things. Now, the thing about bending that my guitar teacher taught me when I was like 15 is you can't just do it willy-nilly or without a target in mind. I think is kind of how he talked about it. So if you're going to be really above board about bending, you need to know where you're bending to. So if we're talking about trying to get to a note that already exists on this fretboard, which, there's a bunch that are missing, if you're trying to bend to a note that already exists on here, you should have in your ear where that note is. See, so I'm trying to bend this note here, and I'm trying to bend it so that it gets to be the same as this note here. And you might say, why would we do that? Well, it's for effect. It's for that sound to be there. It's a matter of preference in some cases, right? That's another way to get there, using the hammer-on pull-off. But that's just some people use that to make it sound a little bit more like a voice would. But And that's kind of like the technical aspect, right? If you're going to do a bend and you're going to try and go for a note that's already on the instrument, you can practice that. You don't want to sound sloppy with your bends. I'm doing it with one finger, by the way, so that you can see, but most of the time when you're bending, it's okay. It's good to get a bunch of fingers behind it so you can do it with more force. Notice how my guitar face is coming out when I do that? All right, that's the idea of bending if you have a specific target in mind. It becomes a lot more difficult if you're trying to do it without that target. As in, if I'm trying to go for the note that is in the middle of this area here that doesn't have a fret. So if I'm gonna go from here to here, or if I'm gonna go from here to here, that's a long distance. That middle string might be easier. That note, that's a hard pull actually. So what we usually would be going for is the note in between. That's a way to get those notes that are not currently fretted on here. That's tricky. Another thing you can do with bending is to be able to like give vibrato to something. So where you see a lot of people, they'll gives a little bit more of a vibrato. Vibrato is the same thing you get when you're singing. You say ah, right? So I had one video about Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash, in which I did the which is a mock-up of the lead line that happens in that song. And you'll notice that I did a bend in it. The bend that we're going for there doesn't actually have a target note. It's just bend. Man, it gets dissonant, doesn't it? It's bent because it gives a bit of a bluesy sort of quality. Now, on here, the way that's getting played, it doesn't sound bluesy as much as it sounds almost like, I don't know, like Indian in... I don't know what that sounds like actually. That's interesting. All right, so I told you I'd do a little bit of bending just to see what would happen. I feel like I've given you the ideas behind bending. Hopefully they were clear. Drop in the comments when they're not. right, so I'm gonna go a different direction than I have on some of these. I did mess around a little bit and tried to find a new idea. Felt like I was wearing some of the same ruts into the road, so I actually like minor keys quite a bit. I'm gonna go with a minor key for this one. This is the B minor. I'm in a D-tuned instrument, by the way. That's a B minor, the 6th minor chord. And on these, because again, that middle string is so bendy, I figured I'd start there. So let's see what happens. I landed on something there at the end that I think would be great to explore further, but I don't want to make you sit through that. I'll break it down for you just so you have it. I like to play my B minor this way. You'll see that in all those chord guides I mentioned to you over on the website. A lot of them are free. Go check them out. So I play my B minor like this, and then I got enough strength there in that middle finger to bend it. I guess if you're newer to this, it'd be hard not to do it with bending this, so consider this your plant finger. And I'm taking the same idea when I move up to an open G chord, the 4 chord. And thus with these two, and you've got quite a bit of ground you could cover. I was throwing in a bit of a closed G. I think I had an A in there, but then the D. And something to keep in mind there, even though I was doing inside of this little jam ideas, you can just throw that in the middle of a song when you're playing. That's not really the best place to put it. I thought I'd give you an example. All right, way too much for me tonight. I'm Ryan with Inglewood Instruments. If you've got comments, questions, thoughts, etc., drop them down below. Thanks.